All right, so today we're going deep, really deep,
Right.
into something that I think we all find a little bit fascinating.
Yeah.
Conspiracy theories. Why are we so drawn to them?
Yeah. It's a good question. I mean, you'd think with all the information at our fingertips now, we'd be, more discerning.
Right, like you think we'd be able to sift through all that
Yeah.
and get to the truth.
Exactly.
But that's not always the case.
Not at all, no.
So we found this really cool article on Chris Westland's website, and it gets into like the roots of why we love a good conspiracy. And it all starts with this idea, like humans have always been storytellers.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, think about it. Going way back, 10,000 years ago, our ancestors are sitting around a campfire swapping
Yeah.
stories. And those stories, they weren't just entertainment.
Right.
They were how they, made sense of the world.
They were explaining the unexplainable.
Yeah, they were shaping beliefs, they were influencing the group.
Passing on knowledge. Yeah, so like, are you saying those campfire stories were kind of like the original conspiracy theories?
Well, maybe not conspiracy theories in the modern sense, but they definitely had a similar function.
Interesting.
They were about connecting the dots, creating narratives, and sometimes, those narratives involved unseen forces or hidden agendas. Sound familiar?
It does. So fast forward to today and swap those campfires for like Twitter and Facebook.
Exactly. We're still telling stories, but the platform has changed.
Yeah, and it's like they're spreading so much faster, right?
Oh, exponentially faster.
Yeah.
George Gilder, he had that great observation about bandwidth tripling every 9 months.
Yeah.
That's, that acceleration has just created this perfect environment for these ideas to explode.
That's like wildfire.
Totally.
Yeah.
I mean, and this isn't even a new phenomenon either.
Right. Like we see this throughout history.
Yeah, think about Gutenberg and the printing press.
Oh, yeah.
Huge invention, right. But it also led to this massive wave of conspiracy theories. Some of them fueled conflicts in Europe for over a century.
Wild.
So Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, they're like our modern day printing presses. And they're just churning out, all these competing narratives, all vying for our attention.
Okay, so we know these theories spread like crazy. But what makes a conspiracy theory so believable in the first place? Like, what are the ingredients?
Well, think of it like a recipe. First, you need a pinch of truth.
Okay.
There's always got to be some element of reality, some mystery that hasn't been fully explained, something to hook people in.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense.
Then you add a dash of emotion.
Right.
Conspiracy theories, they thrive on our fears, anxieties, especially our distrust of authority. They tap into that feeling that they're not telling us everything.
Right.
And to really make it compelling, you stir in that hint of existential threat. The most successful conspiracy theories, they play on our deepest fears about the world and our place in it. They make us question everything.
Yeah, that's what makes them so potentially dangerous.
Absolutely. I mean, they start with that kernel of truth, but then they can lead people down this rabbit hole of misinformation.
Right, like they take that truth and twist it.
Exactly. That's why critical thinking is so crucial. But there's another ingredient, one that makes them so hard to resist.
What's that?
Entertainment. A good conspiracy theory, it's like a mental puzzle. It's full of intrigue and suspense.
It's like a movie playing out in your head.
Exactly. We get caught up in the drama, in the search for answers.
Okay, so we've got the ingredients.
Yeah.
But what makes people actually believe these theories? Like psychologically, what's going on there?
Well, there are a few things at play. First, conspiracy theories offer simple explanations for complex events.
Right.
And in a world of information overload, that simplicity, it can be incredibly appealing. We crave easy answers,
Yeah, it's like a shortcut.
Exactly. Plus, conspiracy theories allow us to challenge authority.
Right. Yeah, to be like, we know something you don't.
Exactly. It gives us this feeling of being in the know, of holding a secret that others don't.
This reminds me of something from 1984. Do you remember doublethink?
Oh, yeah, that Orwellian concept.
It's the ability to hold two contradictory ideas in your mind at the same time.
Right. Like knowing a conspiracy theory is likely false, but still finding yourself drawn to it.
Exactly. It's like that part of your brain knows it's probably not true, but another part of you wants to believe.
Yeah, and doublethink is a powerful psychological mechanism. It helps explain why these narratives can be so persuasive even when logic tells us they're unlikely.
It's like we're suspending disbelief.
Exactly. And then there's the social element. Sharing and discussing these theories can be a way to connect with others.
Right. To feel like you're part of something.
Yeah, like you're part of a community that understands the real truth.
It's a shared sense of rebellion or understanding.
App.
Okay, so let's get into some specifics. What are some of the most popular, like classic conspiracy theories out there?
Oh, where do we even begin? The moon landing hoax.
Yeah.
Right, a classic.
Yep.
The idea that, it was all staged.
Right.
Then you've got the 9/11 inside job theory.
Mm-hmm.
The belief that, the government was somehow involved in orchestrating the attacks. And then there are countless others.
Like so many.
Lizard people, chemtrails, you name it.
Oh, yeah, the lizard people. That's a good one.
Right.
So what's the common thread between all of these?
Well, they all challenge authority, they upend conventional wisdom, and they offer alternative explanations that often feel simpler and more emotionally satisfying, even if they lack, real evidence.
Right, they make you think, what if?
Exactly.
And as Chris Westland pointed out in his article, they're just plain entertaining.
Oh, absolutely.
There's like gossip, but on a global scale.
Right. They spur curiosity, and they make us question what we think we know.
Okay, so as we wrap up this deep dive, what's the one key takeaway you want to leave our listeners with?
That's a good question. I guess I'd say, remember what physicist Max Born said, there are no truths, only probabilities?
Interesting.
It's a good reminder to approach information, even the most outlandish theories, with a healthy dose of skepticism and critical thinking.
Right. Just because it sounds good doesn't mean it's true.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And who knows, maybe there's a grain of truth hidden somewhere in those improbable possibilities.
It's definitely something to think about. So keep questioning, keep exploring, and remember, the world of conspiracy theories, it's a fascinating window into human psychology.
Absolutely.
And it shows our desire to make sense of the world around us, even if those explanations are a little out there sometimes.
Yeah, even if they are.
Thanks for joining me for this deep dive.
My pleasure.